In an old village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there lived a respected gardener named Thomas. He was known for his lush, vibrant garden and his deep love for animals. Among his most treasured companions were two beloved dogs, Max and Bella. Max was a strong and proud male dog, with a coat as black as the night and a heart full of loyalty. Bella, on the other hand, was a graceful and intelligent female dog, her golden fur shining like the morning sun. To the villagers, they were the perfect pair, and Thomas often spoke of how their future puppies would be the bravest and smartest in the village. One day, Bella began showing signs of pregnancy. Thomas and Max were overjoyed. The entire village buzzed with excitement, eagerly anticipating the arrival of the puppies. However, as the weeks passed, Bella became increasingly restless. She would often wander to the edge of the forest, staring into the distance with an unreadable expression. She seemed both anxious and wistful, but no one gave it much thought. Months passed, and finally, the day of birth arrived. Thomas prepared a warm, cozy spot for Bella, and Max stood close by, his tail wagging with anticipation. As Bella gave birth, Thomas counted the puppies one by one. 1, 2, 3, 4. But as he looked closer, his smile faded. Something was odd. Their whiskers were longer than usual, their faces more pointed, and their tails. Their tails were bushy and curled at the tips, unlike any dog he had ever seen. Max tilted his head in confusion, then took a step closer, sniffing the puppies carefully. His ears flattened, and suddenly, he let out a deep, guttural growl. Thomas gasped, rubbing his eyes as if they were deceiving him. The puppies, they looked like foxes. Max's eyes widened in disbelief. He looked at Bella, then at the peculiar-looking puppies, and then back at Bella. His tail lowered, his ears drooped, and a flicker of betrayal flashed across his face. "Bella, what is the meaning of this?" Thomas finally asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Max, now growling more intensely, barked, "These are not my puppies. Who is the father, Bella?" Bella, avoiding Max's piercing gaze, sighed deeply before finally confessing, "Max, I have always loved you, and I never meant to hurt you. But one evening, I wandered too far into the forest. There, I met a fox. He was different. He had a way with words, a charm I couldn't resist. He recited poetry under the moonlight, told me stories of the wild. I don't even know how it happened." Thomas burst into laughter, clutching his sides. Max, however, was frozen in place, his mind trying to process the absurdity of the situation. You mean the father of these puppies is a fox?" Max finally exclaimed, his voice rising with disbelief. Bella shyly nodded. The gardener, wiping tears of laughter from his eyes, shook his head and chuckled. "Well, I've heard about love overcoming all odds, but I never thought it could conquer biology itself." From that day on, the village had a new legend to tell. At first, Max struggled to accept the reality, feeling both heartbroken and bewildered. But as the days passed, something remarkable happened. Despite his initial resentment, he began to grow attached to the peculiar little creatures. He watched as they tumbled over each other, their playful yips filling the air. He saw their curious eyes, their intelligence, and their boundless energy. Against all odds, he found himself caring for them. Max took it upon himself to teach them the ways of a dog, how to guard the house, how to recognize danger, how to show loyalty. But the fox blood in them could not be ignored. They were quick-witted, mischievous, and had a knack for slipping into the shadows undetected. They combined the cunning of their fox heritage with the bravery of their dog lineage. Over time, the puppies became legendary in the village. They were neither fully dog nor fully fox, but something unique, something extraordinary. They could outsmart any predator, sneak into the henhouse without a sound, much to the dismay of the villagers. And yet, they were fiercely loyal to their family. And so, in the gardener's yard, an unusual family continued to live. A strong but bewildered dog, a gentle yet guilty mother, and a litter of the most peculiar yet endearing creatures the village had ever seen. The village children would gather to watch them play, laughing at their antics, while the elders would shake their heads and murmur about the strangest love story they had ever heard. As the seasons passed, the fox-dog hybrids became legends of their own. People came from far and wide just to catch a glimpse of the half-dog, half-fox offspring. They were proof that sometimes love and nature have their own rules, rules that no one, not even the most faithful of dogs, could predict.